Yeah, to launch my Android Studio, let me just go on my my main menu. Then let me just search for my Android Studio because I've installed it. Then here is my Android Studio. Just click on this Android Studio. Let's give it a few seconds for it to start. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, everything is running as intended. Yesterday we left it, okay, in our previous class, we actually left it right here. So what I did in my own version, as Wanyama version, I actually just closed this project. So I actually want us to close this project so that we can start from scratch. So right away, let me just hit on file right up here, file, to close this project. That is, then just hit on close project. On close project like that. Yeah. Then right away, as you can see, here is my Android Studio, guys. I've actually closed that project, and so that means I can start a new Android Studio project. So let me just click on Start a new Android Studio project, or in your own version of Android Studio, because I'm using version 3 point, and you could be using version 4 point, which is still quite in order. So wherever you are clicking to start a new project, just click on the new project or start new Android Studio project. Just click right there. Then give it a few seconds for it to start. When you hit on the start new Android Studio project, you're going to be brought on this page. Now, this page is a page whereby Android Studio has given you a sample of pages that you can use to create a project. So instead of you starting from scratch, if I select like empty activity, that means I'm going to start an Android project, yeah? An Android project, and it's going to at least start with an empty page. An Android project that is going to start with an empty page. And in Android programming, if you hear us talking about activity, just know the word activity is as good as saying page. Yeah, empty activity, empty page. Empty activity, empty page is one and the same thing. Like basic activity, I can actually call it basic page. Yeah. So if I start with a basic activity, I'll show you what happens. But you see, this one is like starting a project without any page. I couldn't start with this one here, guys, because this is like giving myself a lot of work to do. And yet Android Studio has done so much of the work for me. Like right here, as you can see, I can start with a bottom navigation application. I can start with a Google Maps page. Yeah, if I wanted to display something in my app, I can use a Google Maps page. Then also, if if I want a readily designed login activity page, a login page, I can use these, and so on and so forth. So we will look at these as we go on, navigation, draw, and so on and so forth. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, let's just start with the empty activity. So just select the empty activity, or in this case, we are actually going to work with an empty page. Yes, so simply click on next. Once we click on next, ladies and gentlemen, we can actually name our project. So someone on the market chose to call their application Uber. Someone on the market chose to call their application WhatsApp. Someone on the job market decided to call their application whichever way, maybe Taxify, whichever taxi app that is in your country. Maybe they named it like that. Someone named their application Instagram. Someone named their application what? I mean, we have different types of applications outside there, yeah? But like Snapchat, yeah? So many of them outside there. But for us in this class, let's just try to name our application a unique name. I can even just call it as maybe my first Rwanda Android app, something like that. Yeah, my first Rwanda Android Accelerator app. And you see, I don't know if you guys took note that you see, let me just delete a few characters here and see. Now, this package, monitor the change, how the package name is going to change. Yeah, you see, my package name right now is com.king. Yours could be com.example or something like that. Doesn't matter. I can even just change this name to com.rwanda. Something like that. I can change that. Yeah, it's only that my name is King, so I call it com.king. And most of you are like, oh, why are you called King? Don't worry, guys. It's life. Yeah. So life makes you be called some funny names, but actually, I thank God I am King. So yeah, being a king is a great thing, guys. Yeah. So you can change that. But anyway, for as long as it's starting with com dot something, then dot, then sort of your application name is a valid package name. Then so my first Android, so I can just call it my first Rwanda Android. You see how the package is changing? Android app. Yeah, app. Something like that. So you see, this is the name that will appear when someone is going to install that application. But when I upload my application to say Google Play Store or maybe Huawei Play Store, something like, or Huawei Store, yeah, actually this is the package name that is going to be uploaded there. This is what will be downloaded as the name of that application, sort of. This is how it is going to be. This is supposed to be unique. This is actually supposed to be a unique name that is going to appear on the Play Store. But when someone installs the application, this is what is going to appear on their phone, like the way you install your WhatsApp and WhatsApp appears on your phone. Yeah. Then the language that we are going to, the saving location, you don't have to be bothered because it's actually in this case going to go inside documents, then Android Accelerator program, then my first Rwanda project, something like that. Yeah, that's the saving location. Then the language, in this class we are doing Java, but remember you can actually code with Java, Kotlin, or even C++. Yeah. Then once you do that, nothing else on this page, guys. Just hit on a next or a finish per se. Hit on a finish. Let's give our Android Studio a few seconds or minutes if it's your first time for it to compile this project. Then be right back when it's done. Yeah, here is our project already created and compiled, and as you can see, everything is looking okay on my end. So everyone has got their own style of coding. Yeah, everyone has got their own coding style. So I literally personally don't like working with these test files. Now when I say test files, I mean, you see, like, this is com.king.my first Android my first Rwanda Android app. This is my package. Then there is another one, but in brackets has got some tests right there. In brackets, Android test. Then there's another one, the same package, but in brackets, test. Yeah. So whichever Android Studio uses these files for, I don't care. So I actually don't like working with them. I don't like working with them. I can just delete them. Yeah. Let me simply right click on these files. I don't like working with these files, but it's just a way of coding. Yeah. It's just a way of coding. So let me just delete that. Yeah, any of those that is appearing with a test in brackets. So let me just also delete these. Be careful not to delete your main project file. Be very, very, very careful not to delete your main project file. Yeah, because if you do, everything else is going to be super chaotic. Yeah, if you do, actually you are not going to face it super rough. Yeah. Now, having done that, so we can now proceed with now looking at our application. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this application, as a matter of fact, this is a super complete application. As a matter of fact, this application can run on my phone. So that means even in this very class, I would like you guys to know how we can install this application on our phone. Yeah, how to install this application on our phone. Now, to install this application on your phone, first and foremost, you at least need to have an Android phone. Yeah. 2, you need to have at least a USB cable that can be able to transfer data, which we are going to connect to our computers, sorry, to install this application. Yeah. And 3, you need to have activated your Android device to accept USB debugging. So to activate that, let me just show you real quick on how to activate that. All right, this is my screen, guys. So I would like to activate my USB debugging. So right away, let me just go to my settings. Where is my settings tab? Here it is. So when I go to my settings, some of your mobile phones, you need to scroll down and go for About Phone. Now, when you get to the About Phone, yeah, some of you might just already find some option called build number on this very next screen. Some of you will find the build number, but as for me, I can't find the build number. So right away, let me just go for software information. There's an option for software information. Then, as you can see, here is my build number. Yeah. So here is my build number. So to activate the USB debugging, I need to continuously tap here for about, like, say, 7 times continuously. As you can see, I'm just tapping continuously, not like slowly by slowly. And you see, for me, it is telling me no need. Developer mode has already been enabled. You see, the reason as to why it is telling me that is because I already did that, ladies and gentlemen. So so that means I don't actually need to repeat that procedure. I don't need to repeat that very procedure. So everything is okay. So once I do that, ladies and gentlemen, I can just go back a little bit, go back once again a little bit. Then when I get to the main settings page, there is an option for developer options. On my phone, it is the last option. It is the very last option, the developer options. Yeah. So when I just tap on my developer options right down there, as you can see, I need to ensure that it is on right up here. As you can see, when I just switch it on, there's an alert dialog that is going to allow development settings. I need to click on OK. Yeah. Then I need to scroll down. I need to scroll down. Then there's this option for USB debugging. Yeah. For USB debugging right here. Yeah, which I need to activate. When I just tap on it, it's asking me to allow USB debugging. I need to say yes or okay. Now, once I do that, that's it. That's it. Once I do that, ladies and gentlemen, that is just it. That is just it. That is just it. That is just it. Yeah. So now, as you can see, we have actually tried to set up, we have actually set up our Android device. Now, you see, the moment we created this application, this is a full-fledged application. It is actually able to run on our phone without any alterations. I mean, as it is, as a matter of fact, let me just connect my USB cable to my phone. Then let's see how it's going to run. Now, I've actually connected my phone. Yeah, I've connected my phone to my computer. And when you are connecting your phone, please be very careful looking on your phone screen, because by the time you plug in your cable, there is another alert that will pop up asking you or requesting you to give access. Yeah, you need to allow that. You need to allow that. So as you can see, my phone has been connected. So let me just click on this button to run. You can only click on this button to run if your phone has been connected. So let me just click on it and give it a few seconds. I'm going to share your screen to show you that application right now. Yeah, it's still installing, and I'm saying whenever you're working with Android Studio, please always be monitoring this button here. It is a super critical part in Android programming. Yeah. As you can see, it is installing and it has launched. So let me share my screen so you can see. Yeah, here it is, the application launched. As a matter of fact, when I just go back a little bit, here is my application, guys. Yeah, in fact, I can even move it somehow like that. Yeah, that is my application, my first one, blah, blah, blah. If I click on it, you will see it is actually going to launch. And now the question to ask becomes, where are we getting this hello world? Now it's upon us to identify where this hello world is, and we can even replace with our own stuff. And this entire screen, we can learn on how to even put images on this screen and so on and so forth. And right away, let's do that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have that hello world. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, you see, when we run this mobile application, as a matter of fact, let me show you. You see, we have main activity, and I told you the word activity can sound as page. So main page.java, main page.java. So it's like main activity.java. That's what we are going to work with in this class. So right away, you see, when we created our project, Android Studio automatically created this file called main activity.java for us. But you see, when you run your Android application the way we just clicked here to run, the very first and foremost thing is the Android Studio is going to ensure that it's going to execute this main.activity page. You see, when it's going to execute the main activity page, the question is, what next? So what is going to happen is, you see this line number 12 on my code? This is the line that is going to be executed. This line of set content view to r.layout.main activity main. Now I'm going to show you why we have this line, but you see, some of you are looking at this code as though it is super complicated. No, ladies and gentlemen, it is not complicated. As we were doing our Java classes, we had our public class, then these guys are calling it main activity. And can you see the extents? So extents means we are just trying to inherit. We are inheriting a few things from this class. So this app compat activity has got so many other things that we need in Android programming. No wonder our main activity is extending, extends app compat activity. So whenever you see extends, is like just the main activity is extending, that is actually inheriting from this class. And you see this entire method. You see this entire method right there. Right there is where we were putting our PSVM, if you remember. We were actually just putting our PSVM right there, like that. So you see, that's exactly what we were doing, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing different, nothing different. Only that the Android guys, the Android guys are now replacing the PSVM of ours with some other different method. Sorry. So as you can see right now, this is public, static, void, and main method. But the Android guys are replacing it with a protected method called onCreate. So protected, void, onCreate. This method is called onCreate. So instead of using the public static void, we are using the onCreate method, which also just has the opening and closing curly brackets right there. Then in between the scope of this method is where actually they have already written 2 lines of code there. They have actually already written 2 lines of code, but you see, let's not focus on this first line of code first. Let's act, as you can see, it is just super dot blah 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 blah. Then there's a semicolon. That's the first code. Then the second line of code they have written is just set the content view. So set the content view means when someone is going to execute, this program, whatever the user is going to see on the screen, is what we are calling set content view. So set the content view to R. R stands for resources. So resources is res. So set the content view to res. R, so res, here is our res. Here is our res, guys. Let me just open the res. So set the content view to res. Then when you get to res, go to layout. Where is layout? Here is our layout. Then when you get to layout, go to activity main. So set the content layout to R layout activity main. Then here is our activity main. As a matter of fact, let me just double click on it. Then when I double click on this activity main, I expect that it's going to sort of open up somehow. And by the time it opens up, that's how now it dawns to you that actually whatever we have been looking on the screen is exactly this one right here. This is exactly what we have been seeing on the screen. But some of you, maybe when you double click on this activity main file, you are going to see something like this. Like I'm going to change that, but you might be able to see something like this, whereby you have the view here and some blueprint on top of it, just right beside it like that. So to change To change it so that you can only work with this design, there's this part right up here on your Android Studio, and it has to be on the activity main. Some of you are looking for it right here. No, no, no. We are on the activity main. As a matter of fact, it has been opened right there. So this page is whatever we are looking at. So if you want to change these one to just remain with the design, there's this part here that looks like a little bit the design surface. So let me just click. If I wanted the blue part again only, I'll just select the blueprint. If I wanted the design alone, I'll select the design. If I wanted the design and the blueprint, I will actually select that too. But in the meantime, I just want to work with the design alone. Design alone, so that if I want to change this text, I can just always just work with this interface alone. Now, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, you see some of you are saying, but you see our application had some blue color. Our application had some blue color right there. Yeah, some blue color right there. So to change that, I'm just going to click on this eye right there. When I click on the eye right there, on your Android Studios, it could be a different thing, like maybe show layout constraints or something like that. But for my Android Studio, it is displaying something like show layout decorations. Show layout decorations. Show layout decorations. Yeah. So just a little bit, guy. Yeah, so for other Android Studio versions, it is Show System UI. Super, yes, click there. Click on the Show System UI. Then we see how it appears. Then I'm going to show this other version. Yes, as you can see, now that blue ribbon appears right up there. Yeah, that blue ribbon appears. But for actually our Android Studio version, it is show layout decorations. But for your version, Android Studio version 4.0, it is show system UI. But for my Android Studio version, is show system show layout decorations. Which if I select just a minute so that you can see how it's going to appear, it's actually one and the same thing like the show system UI functionality. Yeah, great job, great job. As you can see, there it is. As you can see, it is one and the same thing right there.